In our 20s, we have a lot of questions, like, am I tall enough? Skinny enough? Do people like me? Why don't people like me? What am I gonna do? How am I gonna make money? And with most of these questions usually come little to no answers. But what if all those questions were just distractions? Distractions from the only question that actually matters, which is, who am I? You see, we all at one point in our lives ask this question a lot, and it's a question we like to prescribe short-term answers to. Like, when I was really young, I was a skateboarder. I barely knew how to skateboard, but I would tell everybody, yep, I'm a pro skateboarder. A few years back, some people called me the photographer, which I really enjoyed, and I found my whole week centered around taking photos. But I've often found myself giving answers to this question based on my surroundings, and sometimes it's led me to do some really dumb stuff. But what if the answer isn't found in our hobbies, activities, tasks, or even the people around us? What if it's found deeper? And on top of all of that, what if it's not found in trying to figure out the future and what we want to do, but what if the answer has actually already been laid out to us by connecting the dots from our past? You see, when I was 18, I moved to Australia to do some humanitarian work, which took me literally all over the world, and I loved every bit of it. I built houses in Nepal, I hiked to refugee camps in Greece, and helped build water filters in Indonesia. And I believed that this is what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And one day, after 5 years, I just felt like it was time to move on. I felt guilty and selfish, but ultimately trusted that it was time, and I left and moved back to America, where I found my passion for photography, and I began doing that. What I loved most about it was being able to connect with the artists or subjects to hear their story and somehow convey that story through my work. Over time, I started to look back and see a common theme between my humanitarian work and my photography. Both occupations were solely focused on the individual. I loved working with people and trying to help them and share vision and stories related to who they are. You see, we often find ourselves looking forward and asking ourselves, is this something I want to do? Do I want to live here? And we usually aren't sure, and we're left in this paralysis of, should I do this or should I not? But in reality, we should be looking backwards and asking ourselves what and where are common themes we've naturally gravitated towards without realizing and have actually enjoyed those things. And from there, as we experience change and as life happens, we'll find a consistency within ourselves. The greatest thing about doing the work to answer the question of who I am is realizing patterns of your life and how you can use those to your benefit. For example, I know I love people, which means I know I need to allow myself work that revolves around people, or even move somewhere where I know I can cultivate community. Maybe for some, they find themselves being pulled to the outdoors, and nature gives them life or a sense of peace during stressful moments. You can use this information as a foundation of moving forward and how to implement that into your daily life. Overall, answering the question of who am I takes time, and it should be a process that we find great joy in. But we can also expect to experience hardships and pain. But as we move forward, the dots will slowly connect and we'll be able to answer the question of who am I?
Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college, but it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's a question that I've been asking myself over the last few years, and it's been fun trying to, nail down the exact answer. If you like that video, I think you'll like this one as well. With all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.